Hey, my name's Sophie. I am a second year student studying PPES in Trinity College Dublin. I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you guys today to get you through your initial online learning if you are in that boat with me. I'm really struggling with it, and I'm sure I'm like the rest of you. I was really hoping that this was going to be a 6-month thing of last academic year. I didn't think it was going to continue on, so hopefully the tips that I share with you guys today help get you through it. We will all manage. It's just a learning curve. So the first tip that I have for you guys is a fairly obvious one, but it is so key to online learning especially, and this is planning. It can actually be difficult to identify what exactly it is your lecturer or your TA wants you to read. Going through your syllabus and checking, which chapter you have to read for each week, making a note of that, and then this is the key part, figuring out which day of the week suits you to do an initial scan of that reading is so important. And what I find really useful here to do is to use the highlight tool when I'm reading the ebook, and then it just means that if there's something that I'm confused about or that I maybe thought was important to the lecture that I've been to, I know that I can go back to that and I know how to find it, and that is genuinely one of the best things that you can do to prepare yourself for a week of reading and lectures and tutorials. So once you've done your initial scan of the chapter that you're supposed to be reading, the next best thing you can do for yourself is to go back over it again. As boring as it sounds, it is so useful to go back over and read especially the parts that you highlighted that confused you. And this is the second tip. If you're still confused, use the search feature. So this is something that I did not realize I could do in the ebook until way too late, like the day before my exam last year, but it was so useful once I realized that I could do it. You can search for specific terms or case studies themselves. If there is something that you're confused about, it is really likely that there will have been another mention of it throughout the entire textbook. And by typing that into the search bar, I will put in a little demonstration of where that is. It is so handy. You can see the term in another context, and this really helps with your understanding. So the third tip that I have for you guys is also to do with time management, and that is to allow yourself time each week to complete the chapter review questions. And I know that if you haven't been set this by your lecturer, it sounds like I'm asking you to make more work for yourself, which I am in the short run, but in the long run, you will thank yourself. It is so handy to have some experience with answering questions on each specific chapter, because whenever it comes to studying, having a set of questions and answers and having that experience with getting things wrong and getting things right, it is so useful for online learning. It really gives you a sense of where you stand, which is the thing that you lose with face-to-face teaching. My fourth tip is one that is really close to my own heart, and that is reminding yourself that even though classes are online, you still have classmates. It can be a really isolating experience to study on your own and sit through a lecture with nobody beside you to make you feel like you need to concentrate, and then it can be even more isolating doing the work on your own and feeling as if you're the only person who actually has this workload. So get in contact with people in your class. It gives you somebody to talk about the work to. It makes it more kind of real, and it can alleviate any worries that you may have. If there's things that you're finding really difficult, it's really likely that you're not the only person who finds them difficult. So get chatting. If somebody is willing to sit down and do some of the practice questions at the end of each chapter, that would be amazing. Ask if you guys can sit and compare answers, ask them any questions you may have, and hopefully you'll get to grips with the fact that the two of you can teach each other. And it's even better as well if there's a bigger group that you can maybe do a group chat with, and it allows you guys to have that kind of tutorial experience, but in a more organic way. And then my final tip for the day is, if your mind starts to wander, which inevitably with online learning it will, it's exhausting to sit at the same desk all day staring at a computer. You feel like you're going a bit mad, but going to the end of the chapter and reading a concise summary really helped me focus in on, okay, so this paragraph, it's actually not particularly relevant, or, oh, okay, so this is going to relate to the thing in the next chapter. And being able to do that, being able to show yourself the bigger picture through these summaries, it is so relaxing and reassuring. And grab a cup of tea, read the summary, give yourself 10 minutes, and then go back to the reading again, because I know it gets exhausting, but we just have to get on with it. We have to make do. So I hope that you guys find these tips helpful, and I hope that you have a good year studying economics.